What's up, everybody? I am back with another pickup video. I have a ton of stuff to show you guys, and I hopefully won't have to split this up into two parts. I'm gonna try not to. I'll try to go through this stuff pretty quickly, but you can't see it, but behind the camera I just have a plethora of games and crap to show you guys. So let's jump right in and not take too long here. So first off, I'm going to show you some of the stuff I got from Kijiji. Kijiji's been pretty hit or miss lately, so some of the stuff I found has been pretty awesome actually. So I'm excited to show you guys what I got. So first up, I got a little bundle right here. A guy not too close to me, actually pretty far north, about half an hour, 40 minutes away from where I live, depending on traffic, and he had a bunch of stuff for sale for fairly cheap. So I went to meet up with him. He was just like a young, maybe early teenager. I guess he had the day off from school. He wasn't feeling that great. So me driving around for work, I happened to be up that way, stopped in his place and picked up these games. And he used to work at the thrift store in town, so he had a bunch of the stuff that he got for really cheap. And basically decided he wasn't interested in collecting that stuff anymore. So obviously he was selling it. So I picked out a couple of games. He threw me a really reasonable deal on it. I basically got all this stuff for like 20 bucks, so more than happy. So first things first, I got a Game Boy Advance SP, and this is just the 001 model. Nothing special there, but it does work, so I'm good with that. I'm not going to keep it, I already have one of those, and I'll get into some more Game Boy stuff in a bit. With it, he had an e-reader, which is really cool. I've always wanted one of these, even when I was a kid. But never could afford one and never got one. So happy to have that. I need to find some cards for it. I have a couple of games that can use this, so it'd be interesting to try out, especially nowadays. Next, I got from him Top Gun complete in box for the NES, which I think is a steal of a deal. It's all in there, cart and manual. Everything's in pretty decent shape. The box is a little rough, but whatever. Don't think I'm going to keep this. I already have this game loose, and I'm not interested in completing box NES games, so that will be being sold at the upcoming Barrie Game Exchange. So if you're interested, it will be there. And this was one of the things that immediately caught my attention, was Jumping Flash on the original PlayStation 1. This is supposedly a hidden gem, quote unquote, on the system. It's one I've seen on a bunch of lists. Everyone talks about this game. It's a very interesting third or first person 3D platformer. Pretty interesting stuff. Check out some YouTube clips of it and see if it's something you're into. Not exactly the cheapest game in the world, but he had it for really cheap. Unfortunately, you can see there's a lot of sun fading there, and like it's not in perfect shape, but whatever, it does work. So the inner ring from this was all smashed up and broken, and so I ended up just taking pliers and breaking it all off, and then I just cut another one out of a CD case and super glued it in so I can at least hold my game up. And I'm not really interested in, like, people are gonna say, oh, you're ruining the case. Not really. It's not in perfect shape anyway, and I just want to be able to, you know, not have the disc flopping around in there. So happy to have that, and all that for 20 bucks I think is a pretty steal of a deal. My next Kijiji deal was for this game. It is not an easy to find Wii game. It's actually pretty uncommon, and it's GTI Club Super Mini Festival. It's a Konami racing game. A lot of people really like it. I haven't had the chance to play it myself yet, but it does look like a lot of fun. So I picked that up for, I think it was $5. Can't remember. I think it was $5, which I think is a steal. So happy to pick that up. Not complete, unfortunately. No manual, but whatever. I'll take it at this point. And the next Kijiji deal that I got, actually just last night, by the way, this is in no particular order. I've kind of separated things into like where I got them from. This one I actually just picked up last night. The Punisher for original Xbox, not complete again, but just a disc, and it's in good shape though. Picked that up for $3 last night, so pretty happy about that. Also a double, also will be at Barrie Game Exchange. And these two I'm really happy about. Okay, so I love Luigi's Mansion. I've been watching for the next one on the 3DS. People want so much money for it, like 20, 30 bucks, and I just didn't want to spend it. I happened to see an ad for a bunch of 3DS games, and they were asking Was it $10? $10 for this. Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. Really happy to have this. My 3DS library is fairly small, and I'm trying to add like really good titles and not a bunch of filler. So really happy to pick that up for cheap, and but yeah, really happy. And looking forward to playing that one at some point. It's good for kind of like on the go. This is kind of like one of the holy grail items that I've been looking for ever since I started collecting. I mean, back when I was with Game Hunters R Us and all that goodness back in the day, and I heard about this game and I wanted it so bad, but I could never find it. And every time I did find it, it was way too expensive. I finally found it. This game did get a re-release, but I didn't want that one. I wanted this version of it. And that's the 25th anniversary Super Mario All-Stars on the Wii. It is a beautiful thing to look at and hold. I love the little, you know, fold open and whatever. The guy didn't even open the top, he opened the bottom, just kind of like I do. So it fits really well. It's not, again, it's a little bit dinged up. It's not perfect, but I picked it up for $40 and really happy to have it. So those are my Kijiji deals. Really happy to have all of that stuff. I can't complain. Next, we're going to move into some stuff that I picked up at a few random stores here in town. And by random stores, I mean two. So first up is another Wii title. It is called The Core Gang Outvasion from Inner Earth. I basically picked up this game purely because of the art style. It looks very Oddworld, very Tim Schafer, that kind of Psychonauts, that kind of deal. I'll try to put up some pictures there so you can see the back of it. Hopefully you can see that. Anyways, it looks really interesting. I've never heard of it before, but I looked at some gameplay and some reviews. It doesn't have glowing reviews, but at least it looks fairly interesting and decent, and I only paid a couple of bucks for that, so I don't really care. This is the one I was really excited to see. One that goes for more money online than I think it should, but happy I was able to find it for cheap. This was $5. It is EA Replay on the PSP, and this has a bunch of games on it, including, if I can read them all here, Wing Commander, Desert Strike, Budokan, I don't really know what that one is, Bob, Haunting, starring Poltergeist, Syndicate, Virtual Pinball, Road Rash 1, 2, and 3, but the main draw here is Mutant League Football, which is a more expensive game to have. But honestly, I think I'm looking more to Haunting, starring Poltergeist. I think that's going to be the cool one for me. But picked this up for $5. Totally happy to have that. So that was from a local, like a pawn shop basically here in town. Two more games that I picked up, not from there, but from our local Microplay. I haven't been there in a while. I probably should go back. Their turnover for games is pretty good. You'll always generally see something you didn't see last time, so I like that about the store. I really had a hankering to play this game. I don't know if that's a real word, but I use it all the time, hankering. SSX on the Xbox 360. I played the demo for this back when I still had my 360, but back when I was actively playing my 360. And it was a lot of fun, and I watched some gameplay on it and stuff, so really got me excited, and I've been trying to find this for under $10, which I finally did at Microplay, so happy to have that. And the next one I picked up, as many of you know, I am doing basically a playthrough of all the Zelda games that I have, console-wise, not the portable ones, obviously. So, but I heard that this is considered one of the best Zelda games of all time. Not including Breath of the Wild, clearly that just came out. I don't know where that kind of fits in that standing, but I've heard a lot of people compare this to Link to the Past and even say it's better than Link to the Past, and that is A Link Between Two Worlds. So I picked it up from Microplay. Happy to have it. I am looking forward to playing this. We were doing pretty good in our Zelda quest, me and my friend Craig. You can check out our playlist. I'll leave it somewhere if I haven't already. And but yeah, we've been having a lot of fun going through it, and we're on our Ocarina of Time right now. If you're wondering why that one's not on there, we had some streaming issues, so we just played it rather than stream it or record it, so that's why that's not there. But hopefully I can get to that at some point, and now that I have my knowledge of Link to the Past and a few of the other Zelda games, I should hopefully be able to do pretty good in that. I hope. Let's hope, right? Okay. One of the online purchases that I made, Limited Run Games, of course, comes out with games all the time, and they always, how do I say this? They market themselves as limited print games, clearly. Some of the things that they print, or all the things they print, are very hard to come by, and they will never get reprinted. They always say that won't get reprinted, very low print runs, blah 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 blah. So this is the point that I want to make, that sometimes these games are reprinted, and that is Soldner Final Prototype X2, or X2 Final Prototype. This was released from Play Asia, so if you missed it out on limited run games, you can still go over to Play Asia and pick it up. I highlighted this in my PS Vita collection video, which was posted about a week or two ago, and so that was kind of a sneak preview. You can watch that video before you watch this video, but really cool. This is one of the more sought after games from limited run games, and this is just another option to get it in a physical form. So check out Play Asia. Speaking of limited run games, I'm going to run through a bunch of the ones that I got. I haven't got the super new releases just yet. Hopefully they'll be here in the next couple days. But I got these ones. So, Aqua Kitty DX on the Vita. And I'm not going to talk about them because I haven't really played them. The Swapper, Curses in Chaos. These are all Vita. And for the PS4, pretty much same thing. Curses in Chaos for the PS4. The Swapper for PS4. Aqua Kitty DX for PS4, and the one that didn't get a PS Vita release, Oxenfree. I've heard this one is very good as well, so looking forward to playing that, and not very long, which I like. I'm trying to get through a bunch of games this year, so maybe that will make the cut. Alright, on to my thrift store pickups. That's right, thrift store. I got some good stuff, guys. I got some really good stuff, and it's been a long time coming. So first up, I've got Lord of the Rings games. This is Lord of the Rings Conquest. Picked that up for $10, and also Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle-earth 2. Also picked that up for $10. Pretty good games. I've bought and sold this game countless times. I'm thinking I'm going to keep it this time because I actually watched some more reviews and information on it. It looks like something I might like. And this is basically Battlefront with Lord of the Rings characters. So sounds interesting. I'm going to keep that one as well, and hopefully check it out at some point soon. And the next thing I found, didn't expect to find this. It was $5 hiding behind a bunch of comic books, so it's no wonder no one saw it. Mystery Dungeon, Shiren the Wanderer. This is a kind of like a roguelike procedurally generated RPG. Not something I'm super interested in that I would play, but I will keep it for now. But looks super interesting, so picked it up for $5. Happy that I was able to snag that. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. Those were at Value Village, by the way. I found some cartridge games, so if you're kind of wondering where all the cartridge games are at, yeah, I got some coming up, so here we go. I stopped in at Talese. So we only have one in town, so if you're from KW, you know exactly where it is. I went to their showcase, and they had a bunch of NES games there, and they varied in price. So I asked someone to look at all the games. I looked at them. I decided to pick up 3 of them, and then I just left it at that. And then at the cash register said, "Are there more there? Because if you buy one more, you get another one free." So I was like, screw it, might as well. So I picked up the next one. I basically bought all of them, except I think there was 1 or 2 there that I was not interested in at all. So anyways, these varied in price drastically. I think the cheapest one was like $8, and the most expensive one was quite a bit more than that, but whatever, we're not going to get into prices. So here we go. The first one is Afterburner. It is a Tengen card. I do not have this one. Popped it in for a bit. It gets me super dizzy, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, it's whatever. I don't have that one. That one I'm keeping, and this one I'm keeping. Phantom Fighter for the NES as well. I've heard it's not super great, but I don't have it, so I'm going to keep it for now. The next 3 I already have. These are doubles, so these will be going to the Barry Game Exchange. The Sunsoft Batman, the video game. Pretty happy that this is going to be a pretty popular game. A lot of people like that. I enjoy it. I'm not very good at it, but these 2 are the cream of the crop, clearly. Turtles 2, the arcade game. Everyone's looking for this game, so, and it's clean, I would say, very clean. And then, of course, a pretty uncommon game to find, especially around here. Turtles 3 Mutants in Manhattan. That's the PS4 one. The Manhattan Project, they have a lot of Manhattan in their games. So pretty happy to pick this up. It is a double for me, so that will be going to Barrier Game Exchange. But very happy to find some cartridge-based stuff in town. Like this never happens. It hasn't happened for a year and a half. I haven't found stuff, so that's very, very exciting for me. A couple more thrift stuff that I found. A GBA game called Fortress. This is basically a take on the Tetris game, where it's kind of like you stack your Tetris blocks as a fort and protect your fortress while you're being bombarded, and then you're bombarding other Tetris forts, basically. Again, not a game that's highly reviewed, but it looked interesting, so I picked it up. And the next one is Chase HQ on the Game Boy Color. Don't know a whole lot about it. I watched some gameplay. It looks pretty interesting. And I don't have a lot of Game Boy Color games, or Game Boy games in general. I have more advanced games, but Game Boy and Game Boy Color games just don't get a lot of love from me, and I should change that at some point. So anyways, picked it up. And that was at one Value Village. At the other Value Village, I picked up some more games, and this is a bit of a funny story. I realize I'm rambling. I'm going on quite a bit here. I apologize. If you're watching this whole video, thank you. Like, I'm excited about this stuff, and I hope you like it. So I've been going to this Value Village for weeks, and it's always like, you know, you go, you pick up one thing, two things here and there. Nothing really big ever shows up. And every time I do, there's always this one shark reseller that's always in the area, and he always gets there like minutes before me. Or like the one time I was going into the store and I saw him pull up and then basically run into the store to get stuff before me. I don't know if he knows I'm a reseller, but maybe he must. But I'm always like, I'm in my work clothes, I'm in my regular clothes. This is just one of those guys that just hangs around Value Village all the time looking for games. So with this story, I basically got to the showcase. I saw a bunch of games. I was kind of interested in a couple, and then I happened to look down, and there was a record they had in there that had fallen down, and it was laying on top of games. So if this guy, and this guy will do laps, by the way, so he'll show up and look at stuff, and then he'll leave. Sometimes he leaves the store and comes back. I'm pretty sure he just does the rounds all day and just hoping for a new product to show up. So I had seen him at one Value Village, and then I went to the next one, and then I managed to get these games out of the showcase. And I was holding them in my hand, looking at them, and I saw him come in. And he looked at me, and I kind of looked at him, and I was just trying so hard to keep the smirk off my face that I was like, ha! I'm like, I beat you, you dick. I was so happy. Anyways, to make a long story short, that was already a long story. I picked up these three games. The first is Mario Party Advance. It's a different take on the series, but whatever. Happy to pick that up. And that was, all these games were very reasonably priced for a Value Village. The next one, not one I'm super interested in, but I know a lot of people are, so I will probably take it to Barrier Game Exchange. That is Tales of the Abyss. A lot of people are loving the Tales games. I watched some gameplay to see if it's something I'm into. I'm really not, so pick that up on the cheap. Super excited about that. This is the one I was really excited to find. This was actually the game that tipped me off that there was stuff under the record, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it. All I saw, I'm seeing if I can do this properly. Literally all I saw under the showcase was that. If you can see that. That's all I saw. I was like, oh, I know what that is. And then I had to, chase somebody down to open the showcase. Paper Mario Sticker Star on the 3DS. Man, for someone who doesn't have a lot of 3DS games, I found a lot of 3DS games this past little while. And I realized it's been a long time since I made a pickup video, so this is kind of all just kind of accumulated. But yes, super happy to have this. I love the Paper Mario franchise. I've heard this one, again, isn't the best Paper Mario, but I don't really care. I'm really happy to have it, especially for under 20 bucks. Super steal, I think. And to stick to that shark, just a little jab, makes it even better. Here's one that I ordered a while ago. This was announced, I forget when, PAX or E3 or something like that. And it's right up my alley. It's something I really wanted. I was checking the website, I was checking Amazon. They had them in stock, but none of them were shipping to Canada. Sorry, they had the pre-orders listed, but none of them would ship to Canada. I talked to my friend here, from Mark, NT Shark 7, and he agreed that he would I could buy it and send it to him, and then he would send it to me. And then I went to check the next day to actually buy it and do that, and then all of a sudden it was shipping to Canada. So thanks, Mark, for the offer of help. I didn't need it this time, but I may in the future. Anyways, it is the Retron 5 3-in-1 adapter. So this plays Game Gear games, Master System games, and Master System card games. It plugs straight into your Retron 5 and through the Genesis slot, and plays games through that. So super happy to have this. I love the Game Gear, as many of you know. I'm going for a complete collection, and this is just another way to enjoy my games without having to play them on the Game Gear. This is the first time I can play them on a big TV. So super happy to have that. It wasn't cheap, but I really don't care. The last two items I have are going to be no surprise. Everyone's talking about this game. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like I said, we're going through our Zelda quest to go through all the Zelda games. I think we're kind of, I don't know, a quarter to halfway the way through Ocarina of Time. I think we're going to continue with that one clearly, but we're going to jump into this one as well. I'm not going to stream it because everyone's streaming it. I'm not watching any of the streams for Zelda because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want any hints or tips or tricks. And I don't want to be influenced by what other people are doing. I want to go in a pure, fresh experience. So this is still sealed. I'm waiting for my friend Craig to come over. Hopefully he'll come over tonight or tomorrow, and we can work away at this. But very excited to play it. Hopefully you can see in the corner I have the promotional material. I actually went to an EB Games to pick up some of the amiibos. Actually, I'll show those now. Just real quick, I have the Zelda, the Archer, drop them, Archer Link, and the Link Rider. So pretty cool. They give you items in the game if you didn't know. But yeah, happy to get those. They didn't have any Wii U Zelda games. They didn't have any Zelda games left in stock. I jokingly asked if they had any Switches in stock. They didn't. But I figured I would pick up some of the amiibos anyway. So happy to pick up that. And then I saw that they had those kind of laying on the ground behind the counter. And I asked if those were for pre-orders only, and they said yes. And then the manager came in and overheard me. He's just like, just give him one. So like, I spent a decent amount of money on the amiibos, so he gave me one. So EB Games isn't a terrible company at all times. Most of the time they are, but not always. So there's some good people working there. The next and last thing of this video, this is going to be super long, hopefully I can cut some stuff out. Months ago, I showed on Facebook that I was trying to do this mod on one of my Game Boy Advances, and I've failed for months and months and months. I've gone through several cables, and just so much frustration. My Game Boy Advance has been sitting apart in pieces. Not my original, clearly, but my one I found. So I reached out to CJR because, as many of you know, he's doing Game Boy mods, and he actually lives like 5 minutes away from me. So at I think the Cambridge Video Game Swap, I talked to him and said, hey, would you be willing to help me out to figure out how to mod my Game Boy? And he said sure. So this past weekend, it took a while, but he had to get some parts from China and shipped over and blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. We finally got it on time. We both showed up at his house, and we worked away at it. We finally got it working. So I have a complete backlit Game Boy Advance. I have the sound turned down. Let me try this again so you can hear. Everything is working. Really, I can't say how happy I am to have this. I much prefer this style of Game Boy. I really don't like the SP, but clearly the screen is way better. So this is the form factor I wanted. He also hooked me up with a glass faceplate to put here, not like over the screen, so it's a lot clearer. And what can I say? It looks amazing. So thank you very much, CJR, for helping me out with that build. It wasn't easy. There was some frustration. There was some profanity. But it all worked out in the end. So thank you very much, dude. If you're interested, I'm sure he will be willing to hook you up with one. He's selling them. Usually if we go to games or game shows or conventions and stuff like that, if he has a table, he's usually selling them. So pick them up from him. He does really good work. Spitting my words out. So what's really interesting about that is that the original screen, obviously this uses batteries, not rechargeables like the SP. And if you do this mod, the batteries actually last longer with the backlit screen than they do without the backlit screen. And that's just because the advance in technology in screens, this actually uses less power than the original Game Boy Advance. So go figure on that. Anyways, I have rambled on here for far too long, and I apologize, but thank you very much if you've watched this whole video. Be sure to hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you've gotten recently. If you're coming to the Barrie Game Exchange, I'd love to see you. I don't know if I'm going to make another video before then. Hopefully, I will. I'd love to see you there. Come check out our table. I'm sharing one with Canadian Retro, as many of you know. So yeah, come see us first. And thank you very much for watching. You get brownie points for watching everything in this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.